Mr. Eldridge, if you could please call the roll.
Ms. Bose.
Here.
Mr. Clark.
Here.
Ms. Evans.
Here.
Ms. Farmer.
Here.
Ms. Groger.
Here.
Dr. King.
Here.
Mr. Pluta.
Here.
Ms. Santos.
Here.
Mr. Van Hise.
Here.
You have a full house.
Full house, yes. Okay, good evening. Thank you. All right. Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act authorizes boards of education to meet in executive session under certain circumstances, whereas the Open Public Meeting Act requires the board to adopt a resolution at a public meeting to go into private session. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Lawrence Township Board of Education that it is necessary to meet in executive session to discuss certain items involving matters of personal confidentiality rights, included but not limited to staff and/or student discipline matters, and specifically HIB. Be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board, which need not remain confidential, will be made public as soon as feasible. The minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Further resolved that the board will return to open session to conduct business at the conclusion of the executive session. Formal action will not be taken in executive session, and the executive session is expected to last approximately 30 minutes or less. Can I have a motion, please, for executive session?
So moved. Second.
Okay, with a motion by Ms. Evans and a second by Ms. Bose, you could call the roll, please.
Ms. Bose.
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Groger.
Yes.
Dr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Pluta.
Yes.
Ms. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise.
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes.
Motion succeeded.
Okay, thank you. We'll return in approximately 30 minutes or less.
This is on the debate.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome. My name is Shar. If you could just, we're just waiting for 2 more board members. I'm going to ask them to come on in. Yes. And Mr. Eldridge.
Maybe just let them start, because it looks like they're in a conversation.
Okay.
My name is Charlene, but pretty much everybody calls me Char.
Hi, Sean.
I am a freshman here, and I play the violin.
Hey.
I'm gonna be playing 2 songs. The
I'm
first
sorry.
one
I'm sorry.
Do a motion.
I'm sorry. We have to follow a couple of rules before we have you start. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm anxiously waiting, but we just have to announce our open public meeting for the record. Okay, so give me one. Okay. Everyone ready? Okay. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure that the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting the interests is discussed or acted upon. As required under law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided via email and/or fax to the Times, the Lawrence Ledger, and the Public Library. It has been filed with the municipal clerk. This notice was provided prior to 48 hours required by the Open Public Meetings Act. The board reserves the right to limit public discussion of personnel items and other matters as defined under the law. If we can all please rise for the flag salute. Thank you. Now we can have our student representative. If you could,
Char.
yeah, Char, if you could just start over for us. Thank you. Can you you want to speak into the mic? That way we record it.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so my name is Charlene, but pretty much everybody calls me Char. I'm a freshman here, and I play the violin. I play seconds in the orchestra for some reason. We'll see. So I will be playing 2 songs. So the first song I'm going to be playing is On Wings of Song. And the second song is a duet called Long, Long Ago.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Char, how long have you been playing for?
I've been playing since 4th
5 years.
Well done.
Thank you.
Long, long ago? Here we go.
Oh.
Get ready.
Speak into the mic, please. We record. Yep.
Hi, my name is Letty Lopez, and I am in 8th grade playing the violin. And today I'll be playing Concerto Number 2 in G major. Like a little piece of it.
Okay.
Sounds impressive.
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria Mungai. I'm an 8th grader as well as Letty, and we're going to be playing Field and Stream for you.
Pose again so they can get a picture.
Do one more. Are you a duet?
Goodness.
Thank you for having us. That's great. Thank you to have us. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anushka, and I'm a freshman here, and I play the viola.
What's the difference between a viola and a violin?
The viola has so the violin strings are G, D, A, and E, and the viola is a fifth lower, so it has a C string. Oh wait, that's here. This one instead of a E string.
Thank you.
Wow. Violin's better.
No. Says you.
Anticipate over here.
Okay, and many thanks to, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, take a bow. Yay!
Many thanks,
you.
Ms. Clark.
Miss Baldessari, can you take a picture with me and these beautiful musicians?
Yeah.
I have to tell you, it looks easy. My roommate in college played violin. I made that violin make sounds that I'm sure would hurt everyone's ears. It's not easy. Talent. Yes. Did you say butts out? That's what I thought she said.
Stay where you are for a second.
Hold it, one more. Yes, get in the front.
Stay there for just 1 second.
One more.
See how famous you are?
Gotcha.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was truly a treat and a reminder of the importance of arts in education. Thank you, Ms. Clark.
Thanks, moms and dads.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. Okay. At this time, do we have any recognition or acknowledgements? No, okay. Is it good?
In the back, yeah.
Okay, I was looking for that. Okay, if the peer leaders are ready, we are ready for you.
We brought some entertainment so you wouldn't fall asleep waiting. Oh, sorry.
All right.
All right. Hi, my name is Charlie DeMarco. So our fall sports just ended. Our football team won their last game, and our cheer team first place in their CVC competition. Our field hockey and girls soccer teams both ended with winning records and competed in the first round of states. And the boys soccer team made it very far in states. So congratulations.
Hi, my name is Sophie Judaskis, and I'm a junior here at Lawrence High School. Bridging off of what Charlie just mentioned, winter sports are starting in 2 weeks. We are very excited for our new season since our fall sports ended off on such a good note. And our multi-sport athletes are enjoying this small break between seasons and are ready to continue working hard for the upcoming season.
All right, thank you.
Hey, we know you.
Hi, I'm Paige Van Heist, and I'm a senior. We just had our Powder Puff game yesterday. We had a great turnout from our underclassmen as well as friends and family. The seniors beat the juniors 40-16. It was a great event where the guys had fun cheering and the girls had fun playing.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Morales. I'm a junior at Lawrence High School. So one of the opportunities that we had as peer leaders was going to the intermediate school and participating in LIS Shines Day. We were able to help out in different activities with small groups and work with the students to practice our leadership skills. So this experience was very rewarding, and we hope to do it again.
Awesome, thank you.
Hi, my name is Kiara Oshiro, and I'm a senior. Our Operation Smile Club had a very successful fundraiser last Friday. We raised money for kids with cleft lip palates and so they can get surgery. And we had coloring activities, games, and a movie, and many of the kids made cards for those who are getting surgeries. So thank you.
Nice, thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex Murphy. I'm a senior, and I'm going to talk about this year's fall theater production. The fall play this year is Almost Maine. It's being produced on November 16th, 17th, and 18th at 7 p.m. Tickets are $10 and it'll be in the auditorium. And later this year, the spring musical will be Footloose, so that'll be later.
Yay!
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for those reports. Okay. Have a good evening. Thank you. All right, this brings us to our adoption of minutes. And if I could have a motion to adopt the executive session and regular meeting session from our October 11th meeting.
So moved. Second.
Okay, with the motion and a second by Ms. Groger and Ms. Bose, if you could please call the roll.
Ms. Bose.
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Groger.
Yes.
Dr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Pluta?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. Now, our reports to the board, beginning with Superintendent.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, peer leaders. I know they're leaving us. But just really wanted to thank Mrs. Clark for arranging the musicians this evening that you got to hear during executive session and during this board meeting. These are young ladies that she has followed all the way from LIS, and certainly their music is a testament to the work that they've put into their instruments. So thank you. Mrs. Clark is definitely somebody that we appreciate in the field of music, and I just wanted to let you know that her intentions are to continue this trajectory for us so that we do have some live music, and she's working to arrange that. So thank you again. I just noticed you in the back. So I'm going to call your attention to the slide behind me. This is our adjusted cohort graduation rate for the 2022-2023 school year. This is a cohort we define as a group of students that we follow from 9th grade all the way through graduation. It is adjusted because it takes out and removes transfer outs. I'm going to kind of unpack some of the data for you in just a minute here. So a lot of our students don't graduate, but there's many reasons other than just what you might be inclined to think like a dropout. That's not the case here in Lawrence. We had 5 transfer out, so they are subtracted from our numbers, not verified to attend another district or school. We do have that from time to time. 5 are off track, but continuing. Some of these students might be in our 18 to 21 plus category, special needs scenarios, so those students are also taken off. We did have 3 dropouts, meaning that the students exited with a withdrawal code of unknown. And 46 were excluded for special circumstances, traveling out of the country, the state, et cetera. So this is a mandate in code that we report that. There was a delay in reporting graduation outcomes for this school year because what happens is sometimes we have to kind of go through adjusting and making sure, if there was any concerns that we code them correctly. Okay.
All right.
So that's that. Today is National STEAM Day, which is pretty cool. I see some fun friends out there. I'm proud to announce that our very own Slackwood STEAM Center, how ironic, which was funded by an LTEF grant, is actually the recipient of a New Jersey School Boards Association Annual School Leader Award, and that's going to be given to Mrs. Jean Musi, who is in the audience tonight. Our very proud principal of Slackwood. So several of us are actually going to be traveling down to a dinner in recognition in which Ms. Musi and her team, Ms. Burke, are going to be accepting the award. So we're super proud of you. Thank you, Ms. Musi, for your leadership and to the OIS team and your support of this initiative.
All right.
Next Tuesday, I just want to call out to your attention right here in this room, we're going to be hosting experts from the Secret Service and the Department of Emergency Preparedness. It's going to be a parent summit focused on safety and security. You will learn about some of our hardening measures in the district, some of the things that we're doing to physically protect our buildings, and then how we're supporting students' psychological safety in our buildings when concerns come our way. So please, RSVP, there's a QR code, thanks to Jen Baldessari in my office. She's been full court press on social media. Please make sure you RSVP. We do plan on having childcare and food. So please come, enjoy. It's a night out, it's a couple of hours, and we're gonna provide the babysitters. And if I don't see you between now and Thanksgiving, please have a wonderful time with those that you love most. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patricia, can I
Yes.
say something?
Yes, you may come.
Since we last met, Robin has added a few letters to her name.
Yes.
I thought we could acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So congratulations on getting your doctorate.
Dr. Kim. Next on the agenda is the board secretary report.
Good evening. The agenda this evening, under the report, I just wanted to mention that we have our reorganization meeting. I sent an email to you all today. We're trying to schedule that for either the 3rd or the 10th. And so, Jill, if you can, Jill Pozluzny will poll you and record if you can make it. We've reached out to our newest board member also via email to see if she can attend the 3rd or the 10th. Our preference is to do 2 meetings in January. So we have very little time to prepare for a full meeting for the 3rd because we'll be away for the winter recess, and creating an agenda that's full for the 3rd is not possible. So what we could do is have an agenda meeting just for reorganization purposes on the 3rd and have a separate board meeting for action later in the month. It doesn't mean we can't do some business on the 3rd. If we know what that is, we can put that on, get it out of the way. Also, we'll have for you, we do already have a draft calendar for 2024 that we'll share. It's being reviewed right now. We've compared it already with the school calendars, but we want to take another look. We've compared it with religious calendars, of course, also, as we do every year, but we'll give it another once over, perhaps share it out with the principals to say, is this interfering with anything you're doing? So that if we want to attend the school events with kids, we'll give that preference over our meeting and see if we can move things around. So we are moving rapidly towards the 24-25 budget. At this point, we have a very good handle on where we are with our personnel costs, and we are just, we're pretty far out from adopting our budget, so we've got some time until March. But we're trying to get ahead of that so that we don't have any surprises. And of course, we won't get state aid until the very last minute. So we won't know what that looks like in terms of our revenue picture, which is incredibly important. But we'll be sharing that out in January, what the first blush looks like, to say this is what we anticipate. But other than that, anything else that we have on the agenda is pretty much our perfunctory type things, ministerial duties. We did not have a finance committee meeting, but we did have a great discussion. And so this is not a finance report that I'm giving, but we did have a nice meeting with Pepper, who I had coffee with that day, and Rob Pluto was there, and it was fantastic because we talked about some things that people would be interested in, I think. Was just to, even though we had talked about these things in multiple finance meetings having to do with PEA and things of that nature, preschool, it was great to reiterate once more that we've applied for universal preschool. We won't know until November 15th whether or not we received that, and we're not going to call it a grant, but that form of state aid that we can count on, and much hinges on receiving that notice on the 15th. So things with respect to facilities and improvement hinge on that. But many questions came out, and so thanks to Pepper and Rob. And normally we would have invited everybody. I was off that day, and Pepper said, well, if you're not working on what you planned on working that day, and we had a frost, so I couldn't be on the roof, we had coffee. And so last minute I showed up, and then Rob thought our meeting was still on, and he showed up, and it was a great time. So we thought that maybe what we would do is put out a Q&A to say, hey, if this is what you have a question about this, here's a question about preschool education. And what happens if we do move forward and do renovations and then the grant doesn't sustain itself or the aid doesn't? And then we talked about how that's not a real loss to us because we need to do renovations in certain areas anyway, and we would make sure that we address our needs and preschool needs at the same time. But that's not common knowledge. And so we thought maybe if we did that, we would answer these questions for people. So thank you so much for having coffee with me. I think it was about, 2.5 hours? And off we went.
Big cup of coffee.
That's nice.
So that's the non-finance committee report.
That's what happens when you cancel a meeting.
I
That's
think
right.
you guys, well, it's a true testament that you enjoy coming together, you like each other. So thank you for that.
And that's it for me.
All right, thank you. Board President's report, I really don't have too much. Again, to congratulate Robin on her doctorate, and that we're very excited about what the future holds for our district. Next, we will go into our committee reports, beginning with Community Relations and Legislative Affairs.
All right. Community Relations met on Halloween. In attendance was myself, Rob Pluta, Joanne Groger, Pepper Evans, Dr. Klim, Jen Baldessari, and Vanessa Berkarsiak. We debriefed a little bit about our workshop sessions at the New Jersey School Board conferences, discussing which sessions were impactful, ideas we gleaned from them, so on and so forth. We moved a few policies to first reading, aside from one. We discussed our partnership with ECV for our preschool expansion. So the county office has approved ECV's preschool facilities for building use, aside from a few upgrades that have to be made. We should know, again, as Mr. Eldridge said, by November 15th. So we're hoping for a start there sooner or later. We're getting some dates set for our community conversations. We have some dates in place, so you should be hearing more about those in the very near future. There has been a significant decrease in vaping in the bathrooms due to our vape detectors that were installed earlier this year. When discussing it with the students, they framed it as a wellness approach rather than as a policing opportunity. So it's been really successful, and we're really happy to hear that. We're going to have further discussions about facility expansion after the November 15th decision. And again, just to reiterate what Dr. Klim said about the Parent Summit on November 14th, that will be in the library. I will be there, as my kids are online all the time, so hope to see you there.
All right, thank you. Okay, Negotiations Committee has not met. That will bring us now to the Equity Committee.
Equity took place on October 20th. In attendance was Clifton Thompson, Patricia Farmer, Amanda Santos, Michelle Bowes, and myself. 4 policies all had a first reading review to determine if there were any revisions needed in the language. With feedback given, the policies will be undergoing revisions and awaiting additional feedback before finalized for submission and presenting. Those 4 policies were the following titles: Equal Educational Opportunity, Equity in Educational Programs and Services, Affirmative Action Program for School and Classroom Practices, Affirmative Action Program for Employment and Contract Practices. After ongoing assessment and review with the goal of improving the efficiency of our committees, the Equity Committee will temporarily be absorbed into CIAPD. This will help to refine the collaboration process and help participating members see through a shared and informed lens. The work will continue the pursuit of supporting DEI, mental health, and achievable academic viability. With this stated, the next equity meeting will be part of the CIAPD meeting.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, next, the New York School Board Association.
Okay. Got a little frog in my throat here, so excuse me. I've heard this quote at our leadership meeting when at convention. They had a little buffet for everybody that were presidents, vice presidents, and this one really spoke to me because it really is what we are as a board. So if you'll let me, I'd love to share it. Leadership is not a person or a position. It's a complex moral relationship between people based on trust, obligation, commitment, emotion, a shared vision of good. Just thought that was really what we're all about, the good for the students, for our district. And it rung true to me, and I just thought, that's us, I want to share it. All right, upcoming Mercer County meeting, November 16th, is going to be held at the Trenton Board of Education building, and we're also going to honor Jean there too, so yay, Jean. The topic is, and not because Jean's there, the topic is traumatic loss. The presentation will be given by George Scott. He's a licensed marriage and family therapist known throughout New Jersey as an energetic and engaging speaker. His expertise brings professional staff and parents to a greater understanding of their role in raising healthy children. George believes in all adults have the power within them to improve lives of children. He's also a certified post-traumatic stress management and is statewide coordinator for the Traumatic Loss Coalition. So if you can make it, please do. The dinner begins at 6. If you can't make the dinner, you can quickly log in at New Jersey School Boards and do the virtual, which starts at 6:45. I think it's going to be very meaningful and along celebrating our team. That is the 16th.
November.
Correct, of this month. Upcoming programs from New Jersey School Board. This one is in person and virtual. It's a leadership conference. Everyone moving forward together. That's November 17th, Crown Plaza, Princeton Conference Center. Again, you can do the SWOGO, I don't know, SWOOGO, to get into their webinar. Then another webinar, the big three, connecting assessment, curriculum, and professional learning for student impact. That's on the, tomorrow, the 9th, which is kind of tough. You could still grab it. It's 1 o'clock if you want to quick zip into that one. New Jersey School Board Workshop, hooray to Lawrence. We had 100% club. That means every board member was there. Congratulations. And we were really smart this year. We divided up as many sessions as possible. And as was already said, we shared the highlights of the sessions that we all attended. So we got lots of helpful information and made some really good connections while we were in Atlantic City. I did a resolution subcommittee meeting last week. 5 resolutions were brought forward. Plainfield, one about the graduation cohorts, which is what we were talking about. Students that are excluded for the graduation cohort with coding for students. And that one was moved to the December meeting for it's in Mercer County Community College. Resolution number 2 was also from Plainfield, and it was about non-English speaking teachers for CTE certification. And this one did not get moved forward. The 3rd resolution was Essex County about book banning, and this one is moved to the delegation meeting. Looking at more language to expand existing strategies. Franklin Township, Warren County proposed additional policy language supporting school districts with pre-employment practice procedures, having states assume the responsibility for districts' access to data resources through documentation with prior employment histories. That one's being moved on. And the last one, revising a policy modifying the procedures for selections for New Jersey School Board nominating committee members. They found that some of the members for VOTEC schools were being excluded from being allowed to serve, so they're fixing that. I attended a direct link meeting October 17th, 9:30 in the morning. Robin gave us an update, as she did tonight, about preschool. We looked at reviews for our websites. Let's see. And who else attended? All the PTO presidents shared their upcoming events, Boys and Girls Club. If you haven't looked at what the Boys and Girls Club of Mercer County is providing, it's available for us. Please take a moment to take a look at that. They were really a lot for us. And Project Graduation, I went to that meeting. Many new events are coming up. Again, you can link onto that through the school website at the high school. Lots of details are going to be coming with more fundraising. The next meeting is the 13th, 7:30 here at the high school, and I believe they're going to do a virtual component too. And that's my report for everything.
Thank you very much. Very thorough. Okay, Lawrence Town Council.
I attended virtually on October 17th, but there was nothing of note to report. I believe the next one is tomorrow night, so.
Okay, I'm sorry. I skipped, oh, no, not that. Lawrence Township Education Foundation, I skipped over, so my apologies for that.
It's okay. The items that LTEF has to share is the following. LTEF presented fall grants to educators totaling $57,149. They will gather with recipients to celebrate these grants during December Board of Education meeting. Handbag Bingo is coming Friday, February 23rd, 2024, at the West Trenton Firehouse Ballroom. Tickets on sale in mid-December. Lawrence has talent auditions scheduled for January 20th and January 23rd. Sign-ups coming out soon. Make sure to follow LTEF on social media or sign up for their emails to get information on the tryouts.
Nice, thank you. Okay. Lawrence Township Growth and Redevelopment has not met. So no report. Direct link.
She reported.
I did it already.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Stay
There-
with me.
I am, I'm trying.
I'm kidding.
Partnership did not meet, so we will move on to Mercer County VOTEC.
Mercer County VOTEC did not meet.
Okay. Student Services.
Student Services. Appreciation goes out to all those who attended Vanessa Berkarsiak's meet and greet on October 28th. The morning consisted of a series of relaxed, informal exchanges of information and general conversation, as well as some light refreshment to help start the day.
Yeah.
We hope everyone's time was meaningful and well spent at the Special Olympics building right here in Lawrence.
Very good. Thank
Time for a
you.
commercial. Welcome to Vanessa.
Okay. Review of communications. Do we have any to review? No. Okay. This brings us to our first opportunity for public input. We ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and address, and keep it to 3 minutes.
My name is Meta Cahill. I live at K9 Shirley Lane in Lawrence, and I'm part of the Lawrence League of Women Voters. And one of the issues that we work on is state-funded preschool. So I wanted to ask a question about that. On October 18th, the governor's office released a paper which announced the 26 school districts who had received state-funded preschool monies. Lawrence Township was not one of them. So I was a little confused by the secretary's response that you were waiting until November 15th. Can you clarify, why Lawrence was not in this first grouping, and is there a second grouping?
We actually got notice, along with the rest of the districts, that we were under a conditional approval.
Okay.
Which meant that we had to undergo a technical assistance session with the Early Childhood Development Office. We updated some things they wanted to see differently in our budget workbook. We updated our application and our narrative. We resubmitted days later, but we're still told that we're not going to find out until November 15th. So that is why we posted anticipated for these positions, because we are butting up against the holidays.
Terrific. So there's still $15 million, so hopefully Lawrence will
That
be
is
one
our
of them.
hope. Thank you.
There is still hope. Yeah, there's absolutely. Pass that one along. Okay. Is there anyone else? Okay, seeing none. Brings us to our board discussion and work session. Dr. Klim, if you could share with us what's coming
I
up.
believe we have two supervisors facilitating. Come on up, Ms. Burke. Ms. Burke's first?
I'm first.
Okay.
I told them I'd warm up the crowd. So here I go. So as you know, I'm here tonight to talk about and highlight two strategies that we use in our math classrooms. And as you know, we're in year 2 with using Bridges in Mathematics, our new math resource at the K-5 level. So I really wanted to, and if anyone has math anxiety, I'm not going to make you do any math, but I just wanted to highlight, since we want our students to be problem solvers, critical thinkers, make connections, see those relationships and patterns within numbers, strategies, and making our thinking visible through models are ways that we do that with our students. We want, as you know, our students to be doing the mathematics, not just memorizing an algorithm and calculating all the time. We want them to see relationships within numbers and make those connections. So I did highlight 2 of my favorite strategies. The first one is called doubling and halving. And it's actually based on the associative property, which allows you to look at an area model, which you can see on the top right there. And you can actually look at the area model at the top, break it up into 2 chunks, move one of the chunks to make an equivalent equation, so that 18 by 25 becomes 9 by 50. So we took half of 18 and we doubled the 25 to make that 50. And part of using and highlighting these 2 strategies also allows us to strengthen our efficiency and our flexibility with our mental math. So you really don't need to, I would rather multiply 9 by 50 than 18 by 25. So it really strengthens your ability to just quickly in your head more efficiently do the mathematics. And so what I have here is just an array of expressions really, and not so much worried about the actual answer, but which of those expressions lend themselves to using the doubling and halving strategy. So 18 by 25 is at the bottom right there. That definitely allows, they're not all appropriate for using that particular strategy. 98 and 5, I don't really want to double and halve that, but I may want to double the 15 by 4 and make that 30 times 2. I may want to take that 35 times 8 and make that 70 times 4 to get my 280. And so that's just one strategy that we use with our students. Towards the end of 3rd grade, depending on the numbers they're working with, they could be exposed to it in 3rd grade, but they certainly use it in 4th and 5th grade. And if you look at that visual, that last portion, you can see how it also equates to decimals and fractions as they move to some higher mathematics. So when I learned about this strategy, I thought it was like a mic drop, such an aha moment, and the kids have that feeling too. And so what we want them to do is take a moment, and this isn't my phrase, but resist the compulsion to calculate right away. We want them to stop and look at the numbers and think what strategy lends itself to using an efficient way to get to the solution, to be flexible and efficient in our math thinking. And the next strategy, if you could just move to the next slide, is using a friendly number. And I think for all of the expressions you see above, 99 times 5 definitely stands out to me. I want to make that 100 times 5. I want to move that 99 to 100 and make it 100 times 5 and then take away a group of 5. And that really also supports the shift of additive reasoning, where we're thinking about multiplication as just repeated addition and actually looking at larger chunks of numbers, and that moves students kind of from that additive phase of reasoning to multiplicative phase of reasoning. So knowing that that's 99 groups of 5. So if I make it 100 times 5, I can take away that group of 5. 29 times 3, I definitely want to make that 30 times 3 and take away a group of 3. You may want to do that with 19 times 5 as well. But they don't all lend themselves to that strategy. But if you take a moment and you stop and you look at the numbers and you think what makes the most sense, you can really do some good mental math. So those are the two strategies I wanted to highlight. So hopefully I've warmed you guys up enough and you're ready for some IMSE, but I'd love to come back and highlight maybe some more models or even maybe new strategies. So, no, and I promise I won't make you do math. I'll just expose you to the math that all of our brilliant mathematicians are doing in school. So, thank you.
I want the sand. I want the sand.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, that was awesome.
Yay.
Good warm up. Thank you.
Come sit right here. Right here. Okay.
It's like new math.
Thank you.
It is a new math.
OMG.
Have some fun.
See, I look at some of those and I want to do it different.
This is like,
I know, but that's a much better way of doing it. It is, but I
oh, we're
don't
gonna
know if
draw
I'm
in
going to
the
remember
sand.
that.
Yeah, I love sand.
Yes, the rake. Rake.
Where's the rake?
You get to shake.
All right.
We'll share.
All right, we'll share.
Textile, I know this one, sand. Yeah.
Can I take my shoes and socks off?
Who does? Okay. Sorry, I dig Grimace.
You took some of the stress away with the sandbox.
I feel like Shark Tank.
After mental math, we can decompress now with our sandbox.
Yes.
Yes.
Play nice in the sandbox.
This is the answer sheet?
We're in kindergarten here, okay.
Thank you.
Hit the mic. Seems. Oh.
Okay, just like we do with the kids, you can play with it for a few minutes before we get started. So, good evening, Maureen Hayes, Supervisor of Language Arts, Social Studies, World Languages, and I have Amy Reef with me, Academic Support Instructor, Academic Success Instructor from Ben Franklin. So we all know that learning to read is a complex problem, and the human brain is really not hardwired to read. So reading has to be explicitly taught. And research tells us that students benefit from instruction that's explicit, systematic, and sequential. So as we've been talking about since last year, our language arts curriculum in Lawrence is designed around the research of science of reading. We're transitioning to this IMSE, Orton Gillingham reading approach, using the scope and sequence from the materials from the Institute for Multisensory Education. So all of our kindergarten, first grade, and elementary special education classrooms began implementation of this in September. Phonics instruction is the foundation for comprehension, so we're looking forward to seeing the ripple effects of this as students progress through the grade levels. All of our K-1 and special education teachers have attended the 30-hour IMSE Orton Gillingham training, and it is an intensive 30 full hours of hands-on training. Our long-range plan is for all kindergarten through 5th grade teachers to be trained and using the IMSE resources appropriate to their grade level over the next few years. So as I've shown on the slide up there, K-2 focus is the Orton Gillingham Plus, where you're learning to read. It's designed for lower elementary, and those foundational skills are taught. It's a heavy focus on phonics and orthography. So it's geared towards foundational literacy skills and focused around phonological awareness, blending, segmenting at the phoneme level, phonics, encoding, and decoding. And our K-2 students get this for 30 minutes a day. Once they get to 3rd grade, research shows us that kids should have a solid foundation in phonics and phonemic awareness, and then we move to learning about words, and that's where the morphology piece comes in. So that's the reading to learn. Upper elementary students require more skills in vocabulary and comprehension, so the Morphology Plus a scope and sequence offers an in-depth study of morphology, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension. They're learning root words, prefixes, suffixes, and we do have some pilots going on right now at the intermediate school. So then that's where we plan to go with that. So we're going to go through now what a kindergarten student would go through. This is we're shortening it a little bit. It's part of a 3-part drill that's done. There are 3 parts to the drill: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic part, and the blending part. It takes about 10 minutes of a 30-minute lesson. Again, it's 30 minutes a day. So 3 times a week, this is 10 minutes of their lesson. So we're going to start with Amy and the first part of the drill.
Hello. Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us this evening. So just going to have you be our students. So what we start with is our visual drill. So when I show you a letter, I just want you to tell me the sound. We do teach that later. It's just Clip that sound.
Good job. We know our letters. Yay.
Okay.
And as you notice, we know that different letters can make more than one sound, and the kids do grow and develop that across the scope and sequence. Okay, part 2 of the drill is the auditory kinesthetic, and that's where you get to play in the sand. So I will say a word, or I will say a sound, and you will repeat the sound, and you will write the sound in the sand. If I was the teacher, I'd be walking around, but I'll trust that you know what you're doing. And I'll walk away from that, okay. So eyes on me, spell B. And then repeat it.
B says B. Do it.
B says B. And then you underline it.
B says B. And underline it.
Oh, underline.
And the reason we have them underlined is going that left to right.
Getting ready to write.
Okay, we have checked it and shake it. Okay.
That's through the fan.
Eyes on me, spell ah. Ah. Repeat. Ah. Mhm. Got it? You didn't know you were going to have so much fun tonight. Okay. Just do 2 more really quickly. Okay. Eyes on me, spell Repeat. M says Okay, we'll do 1 more. You know how to spell this 2 ways, so you're going to draw a line down the center of your sand. Eyes on me, spell K. Repeat. C says K. K says K. And as students move along and learn more sounds, they'll divide it 4 ways. So it's a progression. And so what we have passed out to you is the breakdown of what the 3-part drill looks like, and then also the scope and sequence. Yep, part 3.
We're now going to.
I don't know how do we do this here. No? No?
Yeah,
Okay.
be on the record.
But our next part is where we're going to blend sounds to make words. Okay? So I just want you to say the sound with me at first. Cut. And if it's a real word, I want you to give me a thumbs up, and if it's not a real word, give me a thumbs down.
Oh.
I do this all the time. Okay, do it with me, please. Real word or nonsense word? Lit. Lid. Thumbs up. We'll just change the middle sound one more time. Jad. And we always talk about it when changing beginning, middle, ending sound. And again, as we progress in the skills, we'll take away ending sounds, we add sounds, the vowels change.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just a question, so this is done in a large group setting? Or
Yes, yes,
So
it's
how
done
many-
whole group. The teacher also can take kids into small group and to do some further interventions. The academic success teachers also use this to support the kids in small group interventions.
So it's one teacher with the group, and then at another point, you might be working.
And sandal.
Do you do cursive with the sand and the letters?
No.
Oh.
It does help with letter formation.
Yeah. That was fun.
Thank you so much.
That was great.
Next time, let's do it at the beach.
I was worried it's going to be that bad.
I'm glad we passed. No.
Serious.
The math was a little tricky.
Kristen, I'm glad you're sitting down.
I got in trouble because I wasn't clipping my sounds, because I was going, huh.
You gotta,
Gotta put some chapstick on, too.
thank you so much.
Great.
Like, little interactive in our meeting. They were shaking it up here. Oh, all these new things.
I like that.
Yeah.
Gets us through the night.
Okay. School board workshop takeaways, is that what we're doing? Or I think
we
we've
addressed it
covered
in the
that.
committee report.
So we're good with that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We have another board discussion and action items, but I don't believe we have anything scheduled for that, correct?
Going into personnel.
Okay. Personnel committee report and personnel action items, please.
Okay, we met November 1st, 8:15 a.m. to 9:40 a.m. in attendance. Dr. Robin Klim, Sean Fry, Patricia Farmer, Kevin Van Heist, Michelle Bose, and moi, Joanne Roger. We have posted for anticipated positions for preschool, including 2 teachers, 4 assistants, 1 supervisor, 1 coach, in anticipation of increased state aid for such. We reviewed staffing adjustments based on the need and discussed preschool applications as it pertains to personnel. Personnel is in the process of entering its budget for 24-25 year and will be reviewing such in collaboration with business office in the near future. And we reviewed policies addressing job descriptions of early childhood coach and the job description for, I have childhood coach twice. That's not right. Corrections and changes were made to, there were no corrections or changes bless you, to our policies on that agenda. On tonight's agenda, you'll see approvals for subrate changes, EDPs, unpaid leave of absence, staff and substitute approvals due to clearances and background checks, and for staff training. Appointments of substitutes, mentors, destinations and Eagles teachers and substitutes, and subs and teachers and assistants, a night custodian, athletic EDPs, a lifeguard position, volunteers, and staff mentors. Adjustments, starting dates, salary adjustments due to credits earned, and a salary correction. There were amendments on account numbers for an EDP, staff start times, NB3 and NB11 on October 11th agenda, and P24, 26 on August 9th's agenda for account numbers. There were 2 resolutions for those 2 positions we've been talking about, for the supervisor and coach. Those were the 2 positions that the policies that I had wrong. And with all of that, I'd like to move P1 through P45, please.
Second. Okay, with the motion and a second, if you could please call the roll.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Groger?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Pluta?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. That brings us now to CIAPD report with instruction OIS.
CIAPD met on October 27th from 8:30 to 10:30. In attendance, Dr. Klim, Ms. Goomer, Michelle Bose, Pepper Evans, Joanne Groger, and myself, Michelle King. K-5 Family Engagement Night will be held November 30th in the LHS Commons. Mark your calendar. It's an opportunity for families to come in and engage with their students from the K-5 grades doing academic exercises. Music curriculum, the part that the 7-8 concert band curriculum within music was reviewed. Today's professional development day was discussed. Morning sessions were building-based for each school. The afternoon was an unconference where staff members facilitated discussion on selected topics with their colleagues. The emphasis was on discussion. Some topics were multi-language learners, mental health, executive functioning, co-teaching, inclusion, best practices, and gifted education. CUSAC is the Department of Education's monitoring and self-evaluation system that occurs every 3 years. The self-assessment for our district has been completed and is on tonight's agenda. The DOE county office will be in the district to review our programs on January 31st. We discussed the opportunity for board work session tonight, which included sharing the Orton-Gillingham IMSE program that we're using in our elementary grades for reading education, as well as some highlighting of some strategies used in the multimodal instruction in the Bridges Math program. 15 of our staff members who had previously been trained in the IMSE Orton-Gillingham method received a refresher in professional development on November 2nd. Out of district professional development, several staff attended multisensory math. This professional development provides strategies to support all learners and aligns with our current math programs K-8. Staff who attended level 1 training last year will have the option to attend level 2. Additional staff will be trained in level 1 this year. Title I school-wide transition, application of intent. This Lawrence Township School District is applying to transition from targeted Title I funds to school-wide status of Title I funds. Doing so would allow the district to make use of funds within and across schools to address greatest needs. Policy Title I school parent and family engagement was reviewed and is on the agenda for first reading. That's all I have. So, given that, I would like to move. Get through personnel here. OIS 1 through
9.
OIS 1 through 9.
Second. Okay, with the motion by Dr. King and a second by Mr. Van Hise, if we could please call the roll.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Groger,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Pluta,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer,
Yes,
motion carried.
thank you.
Then I'd like to make a motion to move OSS 1.
Okay.
Second?
All right, with the motion by Dr. King and a second by Ms. Bose, if you please call the roll.
Sorry, my voting block is split between two screens right now. Right down the middle, even. So,
In addition, that was Dr. King and Ms. Bose.
thank you so much. Ms. Bose,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Groger,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Pluta,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer,
Yes,
motion carried.
thank you. Now, if we could have a report from the Finance Committee.
Finance did not meet, other than the coffee clatch.
That was
had.
an ad hoc committee.
So, and I just will give a shout out to Tom as we were down at School Board's Convention. Tom did actually make a presentation down there.
Two presentations.
Two presentations. So, and several of us were lucky to attend that. And I'll just, A, commend Tom on the presentation, and B, it was more fun for me to actually sit there and watch the reactions of members of other districts and to see, A, how afraid they are now on building use policies and those types of things, but
Tom
more
didn't hold back.
importantly- No, it was specifically about use of district facilities by outside groups and entities and things like that. But it's really just the foresight that Tom has. I mean, these were conversations with emphasis on safety and security that Tom was bringing to the board a decade ago that districts are literally just looking at now and being confronted with. So, A, just a great job on the presentation, and B, well done on the foresight 10 years ago, start bringing these things to finance and facilities. And so that was fun to attend. So,
We should also thank his Vanna White.
yes. So,
Thank you, Jill.
but thank you.
Yes.
Yes. So.
Awesome job.
With that, I will move SBM 1 through, I'm sorry, there was one other note too on SBM 10. These are the Title I policies. There was basically an inconsistency on a couple of the policies. So just to highlight for the board members, as part of the Title I program, there is an annual meeting requirement, and so a couple of the policies had actually listed an October 10th, 2023 date, specifically for the middle school and the high school policies, whereas the other ones for the elementary schools just recognize that an annual meeting will be held every fall, and that will be scheduled. So I'm requesting a change to that, so specifically policies 2415.53 and 54 just be amended to make those consistent with the elementary school policies, and so that would be SBM 10 for first reading. So with that, I will move SBM 1 through 11.
Excuse me, Mr. Van Hise, we had one on policy 5111 also, but that's under new business.
That's under new business, but I think that one was the regular, just scheduled to be on the fall, right? Or did that
Right, did you
actually
want to
get-
clarify that now so that
Oh,
we can
sure,
get to it?
yes, and that would be consistent as well, so that
Which
would be.
one is that on
NB? Which one was it?
Did you call it 8?
Eight, yeah.
NB 8? Yes.
Yeah, so we had an issue there, just a change in wording that it says when we get to it, so that we don't have to read it all over again. And it was you had eagle eyes on it, and it's the best way, I think your wording was to amend that such that it was the adoption. So it was the first reading and adoption.
Okay, yes.
First reading and adoption.
First reading and adoption.
Yes, thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
No worries.
So there was a motion on the floor by Mr. Van Hise.
Second?
And a second by Ms. Yes.
Okay.
So there is a motion by Mr. Van Hise to move SB 1 through SB 11. Second by Ms. Groger.
Would you like me to call it?
Oh, yes, if you would please call the
Ms.
roll.
Bose,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Grover,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Pluta,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Motion carried.
okay. This brings us to our second opportunity for public input from the audience. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name, address, and keep it to 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move on to new business.
Okay, new business, you will find in EDP clearances, leave replacement adjustments, adjustment to hour worked for an assistant, leave absence, substitutes, volunteer, a resignation, and there are several policies, and I'll refer back to the same one that Kevin was just chatting about, which is NB 8, and for the first reading and adoption of that one. And then you'll also see transportation quotes and non-public funding motions. And with all of these, I'd like to move NB 1 through NB 21.
Second. Okay, with a motion by Ms. Broger and a second by Ms. Bose, if we could please call the roll.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Groger?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Pluta?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes. Okay, this brings us to our adjournment. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This great meeting. Appreciate it.
Pepper,
That was
seconded
really special.